Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a rating your Doomstack video that's also kind of a disaster battle, playing as the Legion of Asgore going up against Balthazar Guild and 3 other armies, so it's like nearly 4 full stacks coming in here. And what we've got here is a Chaos Dwarf weapon team Doomstack, where we've got 4 Infernal Guard Fireglaves, kind of acting as the Giselles of the army, although their range is nowhere near as large as Giselle. Then we've got the Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses, of which he has 4 plus the Regiment of Renown variant. And typically speaking, I don't really like it when people send in Doomstacks with the Regiment of Renown variant, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. And we've got 4 of the Iron Demon Dreadquake Mortars, one of the units that I said was, the better of the artillery. Now, I'm aware that this unit here does take up 2 capacity, and I should have clarified this in the tier list video, but it doesn't bother me that it takes up 2 capacity, because I think that this unit is so good. Now, the main reason why I like the Iron Demon, or the Skullcracker version of the Dreadquake Mortar over the static version, is because I send them up ahead of the army to skirmish, and then draw their forces in thinned out rather than having a static line. That way their forces are half destroyed before they even reach our front line. I also don't ever recommend recruiting like nothing but these units here, so unit capacity shouldn't really matter too much because you're not filling half an army full of them. You're only putting 1, 2, or in this case 4 in an army, and that's what I would recommend. Anyway, I should have clarified that in the tier list. Let's see how it actually performs on the battlefield. But it really does depend on how you like to play your battles. If you don't like to send forces ahead of your like static position forces, then obviously the regular mortars are probably more along the lines of what you'll want. But I like to send units ahead to skirmish because I think that there should be a skirmish phase, if your faction is capable of doing it, which is why I've always preferred these. Well, preferred these for the week or so that it's been out. So that's what we'll do. We'll send these ahead to smash up their forces so that our guys over here can just sit tight and just wait. Because that's the thing about the static mortar. Well, they're not static, but they're slow. The thing about those other mortars is they're so damn slow, there's no way we'd get them back in time. Whereas these guys here, they can easily go over there, harass them, probably force them to come over here early, and then take a defensive position behind the lines. Or we could even use them to tank if we didn't have so many heroes. So we've got 3 wizards there. We've got an Overseer Lord, which is what I would recommend actually, because the Overseer Lords make for better commanders. And yeah, we've got 3 wizards, and we've got 3 Infernal Castellans. So we can use them to replenish our ammunition, and also help to tank for these guys here. Now this is a fairly uneven terrain, and we're getting attacked from a fair few sides here, so we've got to be somewhat careful. If we put our units like in a really crummy position like this, they're actually not going to shoot very well at all. So how am I going to do this? Yeah, we don't want to deploy over here because no, just no. We got to deploy over here somehow, but the rough terrain can be a big problem. Alright, that army there is going to come in first, then this one, and then that one. Okay, so if we deploy over here, we should be okay. So we want to put up the blunderbusses first. Nice high ground over here that we want to make use of. Going to checkerboard up a little bit. With the Fireglaves behind them, so they're not obstructed. That's it. These guys here will tank. They're pretty good at tanking. Decent melee defense on them. You don't want them to be too close to your forces like over here, because otherwise the enemy will just run right past you. It is also on very hard battle difficulty, which for any of these kind of videos I always try to make sure it is. And this guy here also tanks with him, so let's just switch this around here. You tank. Yeah, we've got to keep in mind that they might send some forces around this way. These guys here are actually on foot. Okay. So I imagine the 2 Hashut Demon Smiths are there to use the Ash Storm to slow them down. We can do what we did in the Kadai Fireborn battle, where we can use the the regular cast and overcasted to double up on the effects. I'm just wondering if these guys should stay here, just in case they send forces over this way. Because they're not as tanky. They're still reasonable for tanking. Now, you know what? I'll leave them over here. Because they can tank. They're really not that bad at it. Chaos Dwarf, all Chaos Dwarf units have pretty good melee capabilities. Okay. Put these guys here on guard mode. And then we want to send these ones immediately to go harass Balthazar Gelt's forces. Because he'll probably want to wait for his reinforcements. And we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Okay, running over there. And this is why I gave these guys the top marks. For this ability here. This is what makes them better than the static ones. But it all depends on your particular playstyle. So I'm really grateful for this person to send this in so that I could clarify this. Because it was definitely one of the most contested things in the tier list there. But legend, the other artillery has 60 speed. Yeah, the regular Dreadquake mortar, they do not have 60 speed. It says that they do, but they absolutely do not. Their speed is more like 20. They're super slow. This army's destroyed before the battle's even begun. But legends are so inaccurate. Alright, how long have we got? 31 seconds. God damn, this entire army is just about gone. There's no point aiming for the single entities, we're not going to hit them. And this is why I don't recommend like making a whole army for them. Because one thing, it is very expensive to even get a couple of these guys, right? But they're useless against single entities, absolutely useless. So these guys here just clear out all the infantry, and then you lure the single entities over here, and that's what these guys here are for. So mixed arm fire, just like the Skaven weapons team. Similar process. Also, these guys have tons of bloody manufacturing upgrades. Right, so they're coming in hot over this way. Yep, we got Empire Knights coming at us, but that's okay. That's okay. Probably can't outrun them, but we can get a good head start. Let's get going. And let's get more power. Let's get going. No, don't shoot him. And this is why we want the fast ones. They're skirmishers. So they're coming in from here now as well. Yeah, alright, take that out. Alright, we've got a few single entities coming in over this way. Like I said, our guys are not good against them. We can still use these guys as static mortars behind the line, but I need their fire glaives and stuff to start dealing with these guys. How we going there? Good. Okay, when we're close to single entities, we should definitely turn them off fire at will. We don't want to waste ammo. And what we can do is just take them off fire at will and just manually shoot them. Because I do have a 360-degree arc of firing, and we're not taking much damage. Alright, we did use up a fair bit of ammo, so let's start restoring some of it a little bit. God, look how much it actually restores. That's ridiculous. I mean, look at the kills we got on these guys. You guys are on fire at will? Yeah, just gotta get them closer. Alright, bring these in. Okay, time to... Where is it? There it is. Come on, why aren't you guys shooting? Oh my god. Oh my god. You deleted. Alright, slow them down on the approach. Hang on. Whoa. Move. Back in there. Slow them down on the approach there. Bomb this. Alright, put them back on fire at will. Good, no one's coming around this way. Oh, I got bombed by that. That's so good, I think. Good, Iron Demon shooting its shots off as well. This one he's taking some damage to move back a bit. Well, that's... Yeah, no way I'm gonna get it. That was an overcasted one. Let's move this one to the back. Okay, that metal... Oh, the metal wizard is Gelt. Yeah, get rid of Gelt if you wouldn't mind. Can we pop this down on him? Okay, good. Gelt's gone at least. So, hopefully no more of those devastating metal magic spells. Gotta be really careful with Dreadquake mortars though, that they don't shoot anywhere near your infantry, because they will absolutely kill them. The guys over here doing just fine. We can heal these with the Hellforged Reforge ability. Okay, but yeah, they're not taking much damage anyway. Let's get this guy out of here. Okay, really need to get rid of these damn heroes here. Causing me problems. Our guys are doing just fine. Need some ammo. There you go. God, this is crazy. Get back over there. I shouldn't have given him the attack order. He's bloody running forward, even though they're on guard mode. Alright, another army coming in over this way, but the balance of power is looking pretty good. Alright, how about one of these over here? Slow them down. Okay, this guy here is asking to get bombed. Good. Okay, could use a bit more ammo on this guy here. Yeah, no, I shouldn't be giving attack orders. I just screw that up all the time. Okay, let's actually shoot at some of these guys over there. And these tanks are really bloody tanky as well. Don't think that's going to be particularly good against the war wagons there, but... Well, they're not aiming for my blunderbusses, so that's not too bad. Let's move these guys back a bit. Yeah, that's a waste of ammo. Doesn't matter, there's the army losses. This army here didn't even get a chance to do anything. Damn, that is a really good weapons team. You could definitely argue that this is just as good, if not better, than a Skaven weapon team army. But of course, it's very terrain dependent. If we didn't have a good position here, and of course the AI is so brain dead that all they had to do was come up this way, and it would have completely ruined my plans. Although, I could have just reasonably quickly moved them over to here to shoot it through there. But they didn't even think to come up through the rough terrain. And yeah, these ones here being Hellforged, while we've still got the Demon Sorcerers, we can heal them a little bit. Anyway, I hope with 1,000 kills there, 800 kills that one, 600 kills and 600 kills. Hopefully that sort of makes my point a little bit about why I like the Iron Demon version of the Dreadquake Mortar. You know, being able to do this much damage over here at the very start of the battle is something that I feel like the regular Dreadquake Mortars wouldn't have been able to do. I just wouldn't have been able to get them back here in time. So the campaign difficulty wasn't on Legendary, but the battle difficulty wasn't very hard. So 19 deaths, and that's mostly because of Gelt's spellcasting there. That did really well. But yeah, just to point it out one more time, if you don't like doing what I did there with the Iron Demons and you prefer just to sit there and relax, then by all means, recruit the regular Dreadquake Mortars. But I think going out and thinning out their forces right at the start made a big difference in this battle, because they came at us in waves. They would, at no point were they coming at us as a cohesive force, because their entire army's integrity was destroyed right at the start, and I never gave them a chance to re-establish it. They never took any time to form up their lines, not that I would have given them any chance to do that. And that's something that I feel like would have been a lot more difficult to do with the other Dreadquake Mortars. I don't need to say far back, but yeah, you get the gist of it with that. But yeah, really good Doomstack. I'm not... Okay, in terms of rating it, we don't really do 10 out of 10 anymore, although this would be a 10 out of 10 Doomstack. It's reasonably easy to use, but not the easiest thing to use. Like, I know how to use this kind of stuff fairly well. That's the first time I fought that battle, so I knew what I was doing. But it's not the easiest thing to do. It's not like a single entity Doomstack where you just point and click and win. It's super powerful, there's no doubt about that. In terms of cost effectiveness, it's not super high. He's used up a lot of munitions to get that, obviously. But he's spread a lot of the unit capacities around, which definitely mitigated the cost a fair bit. In terms of upkeep costs, that doesn't matter so much for the Chaos Dwarfs. But yeah, he's using up 8 artillery capacity by getting those 4 Iron Demon Dreadquake Mortars, which, that's a fair bit, but I think it's worth it considering how much they kill. Like, they did the majority of the work in that battle, so I think that makes up for it. And it's always a balancing act between something that costs a lot but delivers a lot of value, as opposed to something that doesn't cost much at all but doesn't deliver quite as much value. And it's just that juggling act about what units you prefer. Because the big thing with the Chaos Dwarf roster is that they actually have no bad units. There's no unit that is like crap in all situations. You know, they don't have a Carrion that the Tomb Kings have, which you just never recruit Carrion. It's just a complete waste of a unit. You know, they don't have regular War Wagons, another pretty crap unit. Although they're a little bit better in Warhammer 3 now. And other such examples of completely useless units. The Chaos Dwarfs just don't have a completely useless unit. Even the Labourers and the Hobgoblins have their place within the army. Because they don't use up the unit capacities. They save you on munitions. And they're cheap. We just get through this end turn here. Ah, look, just forget it. We got the gist of it. Actually, I want to show the munition upgrades, which I didn't show before. Just get through this. Also, I'm seeing a lot of comments from people seeing campaigns like this where they've got 150 settlements or whatever it is on turn 100. And like, how do they get that much territory in that much time? Yeah, look, most of the save files I'm getting sent in from Chaos Dwarves are, unless they're disaster campaigns, they've got about this much territory. That's not an issue because the Chaos Dwarves snowball. They snowball big time. Alright, so he's got another Doomstack over there. Where was that army? It was over here, I think. Yeah, this is the army here. Yeah, because that unit was there. They only got one of those. Alright, so the Dreadquake Mortars have passive ability Extra Powder, passive ability Hellbound, so that's providing physical resistance and perfect vigor while the hit points are greater than 25%, and magical attacks as well. Ammunition plus 15%, that's really good, and an extra reload, but you only get one use of that when their ammunition falls below 80%. So that's costing 54 munitions each. And then the blunderbusses have reload time reduction, extra powder, extra reload, enables magical attacks, enables suppressive fire. Most of those I don't think were really that needed in that battle. Like, I don't think we were dealing with a lot of physical resistance, so magical attacks weren't necessary. But, you know, it's good that you've got it there anyway. Then the fire glaives have got the exact same thing. They use up the same abilities. So those were the munition upgrades. And then the heroes, getting 3 of each of these heroes is not too expensive in terms of unit capacities for the Chaos Dwarves. That's not so bad at all. And the reason why I like the Overseers as opposed to the Sorcerer Prophets is largely due to these upgrades up here. This way you can sort of decide what kind of army you're going to have. If you're going to use a Chaos Dwarf army, then getting reduced upkeep cost, reduced recruitment cost, extra armor, and extra ammunition for the entire army, that's something that the Sorcerer Prophets aren't going to get. And if you're going to go with Hobgoblins, then you've got this one over here for reducing Hobgoblins and Laborers. So this is good. This one's good for really, really crap armies. And then you've got this one over here if you're just sending them on their own to just go and fight, I suppose. So the Sorcerer Prophets are good for if you're sending them out on their own without an army, I suppose. But I think that the Overseers have an edge over the Sorcerer Prophets in this regard, in sort of boosting their army. Because I wasn't really relying on his abilities at all. I was mainly just focusing on the Iron Demons and making sure these guys here were shooting. Overall, really good army, reasonably easy to use, very powerful, cost effectiveness, bit on the low side, but, you know, when you're rolling around in munitions, it's not that bad. If we have a look at his Hellforge, you know, at 11 capacity, so he's using 8 out of 11 just in that army there. It's not that expensive getting some more war machines at that point, so you can really increase that several times every single turn. It's not so bad. Which is why, again, I'm not too concerned about this one here costing 2 supplies as opposed to 1. But it all comes down to what you prefer. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Thanks for sending in this Doomstack. I love it. It's great. It is a really good weapon-themed Doomstack. The only thing I think it would really struggle against is very fast single entities that basically just make the Iron Demon Dreadquake Mortar completely useless. That is the only thing that I think I'd be really... So basically, if you go up against a Rite of Primeval Glory army, In Lustria, I wouldn't bring this army just because this would not be great against it. This is very much anti-infantry. Single entities, it doesn't do so well. Like, these guys here are okay against single entities, but if that's the case, just bring Infernal Guard Fireglaves against them. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for sending in this Doomstack, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.